Now, what was being done till 30th June on VAT portal of 29 states, 7 union territories, and the portal of service tax and central excise will get done at one place. So there is one portal for the whole country for all GST taxpayers. You must have heard two different terms. One is enrollment, migration, and also now new registration. So my endeavor here will be to just tell you more about what these terms are and how we do these processes on the GST portal. Next. So enrollment is essentially for those who are already registered under state VAT, service tax, central excise, and other taxes which have been subsumed under GST. So the government started this enrollment process on 8th of November by issuing provisional ID at that time based on the TIN, tax identification number under then existing taxes, and the PAN. So these were the two things which were required, and a provisional ID was generated and shared with the tax authorities for onward sharing with the taxpayers. There is no fee charged for enrollment or the migration. And if one goes through the manual or the FAQs and is ready with documents, it doesn't take more than 10 to 15 minutes to fill up the entire form. Now, what is required to be done? One is what we call enrollment. Once you get your provisional ID and the token from your tax authority, you need to activate it. And that is what is called in common parlance as enrollment. So one has to go to the portal, gst.gov.in, use the provisional ID which has been given and the token, and after that the system will ask for a mobile number and an email ID on which OTPs will be sent. Once you fill up the OTPs which were sent on both email as well as mobile, then the system basically enrolls you. Now, what is this provisional ID? Provisional ID is nothing but your GST identification number. At that time, it was called provisional ID because law had not come into effect. Now, what are the documents required for filling up Part B of the form, which is basically your business details, details of the promoters or partners, your principal place of business, bank account, and things of that sort. And these are basically the photographs of all the promoters. There are sizes given there, like 100 KB maximum for photo, for constitution of business 1 MB, and all one needs to do is to keep them ready, scan it, bring them into size. One problem which many people faced in the initial period was how to reduce this. So when you scan, there is something called DPI on your scanner. Just choose a lower DPI and you will be able to bring your document to this size. Once you have done this, your migration part is also complete for after the ARN is issued, and I'll just take you through that next process. Now, till yesterday, a total of 86,61,000 existing taxpayers were issued provisional ID. So these provisional IDs are with the tax departments, and they have shared with the respective taxpayers. Out of that, 69.32 lakhs have already enrolled, which means they have come and they have activated their provisional ID, they have given their email, mobile number, etc. And based on this, we have generated provisional certificate and sent it by email. It's also available on their dashboard. So if they log in, they can see and they can download this provisional certificate, which needs to be displayed in their place of business. Now, out of this 69.32 lakhs, 38.5 have also completed Part B. The Part B is the one which you fill up, which are those business details, promoters details, etc. Then you become eligible for permanent registration certificate, what we call RC, so that you can continue your business without any challenge. So we have still around 30.8 lakh taxpayers who have who are yet to complete Part B, and we are now sending them emails and SMSs requesting them to come to the portal along with those documents, fill up Part B, and sign the application. Now, signing the application is basically when you sign on a paper that the information provided is true to my best of my knowledge, etc. Similar kind of thing you do here. But then this authentication has to be done by digital signature certificate in case of companies, LLPs and foreign LLPs. And for others, government has introduced electronic verification code where OTP is sent on this mobile number which you had registered earlier. Just give the OTP and then your signing process gets completed. Now this was so far as the enrollment process was concerned. For those taxpayers who are already registered prior to 30th June under various laws like VAT, service tax, central excise, and they have been transitioned or migrated to the new law. Lots of people have started making new registration, and let me just take you through the new registration process, which is quite similar to enrollment format as well. And again, one has to go to the same portal, gst.gov.in, and what they need to have is PAN, a mobile number, and an email ID with them, a working email ID. So you just go there, give your PAN, give the mobile number, and give the email ID. A OTP will be sent to both. And this is basically to validate both the things, your mobile number as well as email ID, so that in future we can communicate with you. Simultaneously, the PAN is also validated with Central Board of Direct Taxes with the income tax database. Once that is found okay, a temporary registration number temporary reference number is given, and that is what you take and go and fill up the next one. The next one, you have to fill up the same items what I explained earlier while explaining the enrollment. It's basically your business details, promoters details, principal place of business, if you have additional place of business, bank account, etc. And then once you fill them up, you sign them. Once you sign, the system gives ARN. Now ARN is generated after the PAN of the promoters or the directors is validated. Or in case of companies, the directors, the SIN and DIN is also validated online by the system. So in case there is an error, you get a message called validation error. And also an email goes to your registered email ID stating that these things have not been validated. Suppose one particular promoter's PAN is not matching with the income tax database, so there will be a validation error. And the email will say that this particular promoter's PAN did not. So what do? You go back to the portal and correct that so that your validation gets through. Now once you have got the ARN, which means all validations have been through, then the registration application will be shared with the respective tax authority. Now he gets 3 working days. Now working days is important here. Saturdays and Sundays are not included, and similarly local holidays are not included. Holidays are not included. So he gets a time to go through all the documents. He will go through the lease deed, etc., which has been uploaded, and whatever other information which has been provided. If he wants to know something out of the information which has been provided, or some document is not legible, he can raise a query. And he can ask to supply a new document or a clear copy of the document, or could be like your lease deed had expired. So he will ask you to give a new lease document. And that is what the taxpayer then has 7 working days to file that, and after that tax officer gets 7 days to approve or reject. And accordingly, the taxpayer gets the permanent registration certificate. Can we go to the next one? This I have already explained that both of them get 7 days. The taxpayer gets 7 days to answer the query, and after that, once the information has been provided to the tax officer, he gets 7 days, and after that he approves, the registration certificate is issued. If he has reasons to believe, then he has to record in writing why he is rejecting the application, and that is conveyed to the applicant. Next one. Now, some of the tips which I thought I should give here for the wider audience, we have kept small 2 minutes, 3 minutes video on the GST portal. It's also available in YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, where step-by-step process how to do it is explained. So my request is all the newcomers who want to do it, please have a look at it. And in fact, you can run it simultaneously while you are filling up. Number 2, keep all the documents ready, as I had explained earlier, and then I'm certain you will be able to do it in 10 to 15 minutes. While writing the name, please ensure that the name is written exactly the way it is written in PAN. If it is not written, then there will be a validation error. In case of companies, similarly, name of the company and the number, which is SIN. In case of directors, directors identification number are also validated, so that should be written clearly. The next one. So some queries have been raised here on Twitter as well as in our call centers that 3 days have gone and I haven't got my registration certificate. I just wanted to re-clarify again, there's 3 working days, and as I explained, if it is someone applies on Friday, then the Saturday and Sunday is not counted. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be counted, and by Wednesday evening he will get that. And if a query is raised, please answer that query, that particular relevant part, either by providing writing information or by providing document, as the case may be. Next. So that's all I had to talk about the process.
All right.